This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit, Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts, and the American Scooter Dust.
Get off my leg. Get out. I'm gonna put you back in your cage. You better stop. Hi, everybody. I was just, talking to my son.
But you were talking to my, to Portia, my parent. Anyway, it was a great, week for Wrestling With, as we interviewed Sally Chaos. Had a big match that night against Jessica Havoc. Made her debut for Capital Championship Wrestling a couple months ago. And can't say enough great things about Sammy. Definitely somebody you should keep your eyes on in the coming years, because I got a good feeling about her. I think we're going to see a lot more in the future, definitely. This upcoming Tuesday, yes, we have an interview on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. We're kind of getting back into the swing of things. We got God's Gift to Pro Wrestling, Your Savior, Michael Richard Blaze. And MRB does not disappoint. We talk Love Pro Wrestling, WrestleCore, having his name on the same list as Bret Hart, Owen Hart, Dynamite Kid, and many others. Wrestling Cody Rhodes, Wrestling PCO, Wrestling The Undertaker. If you want that story, you gotta listen to the interview, obviously. And a hell of a lot more. The Clandestine Society, he breaks down the faction, the school, the event, and so much more. Again, cannot say enough good things. And an interesting stay at a hotel with one of his trainers, and Jinder Mahal. So, yeah. Definitely listen to that on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we have Levi Spade. Somebody that is still new in their career. We talk The Limitless Dojo, Mojo at the Dojo, Seabass Finn, LS Spartano, G Long, Dylan Dix, The Seawolves, MSP, Dungeons and Dragons, Star Wars, Marvel, and so much more. I cannot really say enough great things about Levi Spade. Another, I think we've said this when we first started doing interviews in for Limitless. There's something in the water when it comes to those Limitless dojo students, and Levi's no different. So you definitely want to check out that interview on Tuesday. Wednesday.
I guess for that one, you gotta call a spade a spade.
Yes, you can. Alright, I believe we're done putting ourselves over.
Well, I got nothing to put over this week, so. Okay, you know what? Here, you know what? A reminder for everybody. We'll put over the world. Pay your fucking taxes!
And screw up Tony Heel on all of our listeners.
I literally paid my taxes yesterday, so.
I will never pay my taxes. And neither should you.
We do not condone the breaking of the law here on Wrestling with Entertainment. Please send your hate tweets to James J993 and James J994. Let's give him some attention too.
You don't know what 993 means.
September 1993.
No.
Yes.
No.
No, September 9th, 2003.
Subtract 7 from 1,000.
So you're the 993rd James.
Well, anyway, it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And, what a week for news it was. One thing we didn't get to talk about last week, because we were all WWE all the time, was that AEW is bringing back All In Wembley Stadium in England. Is this a big? Should this be a big deal, Scooter?
It should be. I don't know, and I think this is the big question that the entire wrestling world is thinking about: is does AEW have enough exposure to make Wembley Stadium look presentable and not empty?
So you mean you're not talking about like the staging area? You're talking about not having people in nosebleeds.
I mean, why would you do a stadium show if your intent was not to fill the stadium?
Sure.
I mean, they could very well have their own little structure in the middle of the field and close everything else off, but then that kind of defeats the purpose here for what they're intending to do.
What? 70,000 arena?
Yeah. 70,000 plus, probably more since then. I mean, there's a reason why, Raw and SmackDown, whenever they're in England, they don't do TV tapings at Wembley Stadium.
Usually at the O2.
Yes, and that's the next thing I was going to say. Probably not the best idea for AEW for their first, not just their first show in the UK, their first show on another continent. And it's at the most iconic stadium in Europe.
What?
I mean, how many other stadiums can you name in Europe besides Wembley Stadium and the O2? That being said,
I mean, the one that WWE was in for Clash at the Castle.
yeah, Wales, but they always have so many consonants that you never know how to pronounce things. AEW should have started off, at the O2.
I mean, okay, so let's kind of break this down. There, Double on That Team was at AT&T Stadium, and that was like what, 14,000?
Wait, is it AT&T? AT&T? No, that's AT&T
T-Mobile
Center.
Arena. T-Mobile Arena.
T-Mobile. In yeah. What was it? No, not Houston. Houston?
No, it's Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Too many places have T-Mobile arenas now. Yeah. Then again, that's all. T-Mobile Stadium can hold a lot more though, because it's it's the home profession.
Yeah, the attendance for that was 14,000, almost 14,500 fans. You was at the show in New York.
The Grand Slam. Arthur Ashe Stadium is also no more than 15,000, I believe.
Okay, so we're talking about relatively small arenas that even. Huh?
Arthur Ashe is 23,771, and even that was not that wasn't a sellout.
Right, but I would also take into account that they're in New York a lot of the time, so the market's kind of saturated at that point. So I mean, Double or Nothing last year, respectively, they got 14,000 people into that arena, and it was probably their most successful show to date at 14,000. I think, considering that the UK crowd and the UK fans and the people that do actually want to go see AEW, I think that they would at least get 20,000.
Well, considering that Wembley is 90,000, O2 is 17,500. There's another arena here that AEW probably could have actually sold out, and it's London and outdoors. That's Wimbledon.
Isn't that right next to Wembley?
God. Oh man. God, Wembley Stadium, and I think Wimbledon is Wembley Arena.
Something like that.
But Wimbledon is less than just under 15,000.
Yeah. So, is this? I mean, they didn't book that arena thinking they're not going to sell a lot of tickets. Do you think that they maybe overestimated how many tickets that they're actually going to get?
I honestly, why I think this happened is because because of Money in the Bank.
Right. Money in the Bank is at O2, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So, how many people need to be in that arena for it to be considered a success? In your opinion?
I'd say minimum 25,000.
I would say 35. I think they need at least 35,000 for it to even at least look halfway decent in a 90,000 seat arena.
I mean, unless they're working on some brand new way of presenting it on screen, yeah, I don't know, like almost like a Japanese style where the entrance is diagonal to the ring, and
Well, I mean, WrestleMania packed in 81,000 people for WrestleMania this year at Levi's Stadium. And Wrestle Kingdom had roughly 30,000 people at the Tokyo Dome. So, I mean, this can potentially be, if they allow it to be, their biggest event on the level of WrestleMania / Wrestle Kingdom. It's just a matter of drawing the people in. And I think if they did this literally anywhere else but UK, it would probably be a disaster. Your thoughts on that?
yeah, this is I would definitely agree with that. Interesting article on Sportskeeda about 5 ways AEW could sell out Wembley Stadium. Number 5 is MJF vs. Wardlow 2. No.
Draw 90,000.
No, absolutely not. 4, Sting's final match.
Okay, yeah, I could buy that.
Only if it's against Darby, though.
I mean, would it have to be Darby? I mean, I don't think we're close to on anything.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta come full circle, especially with Sting's recent, revelation that he won't go after the AEW Championship. The other thing I'm thinking, Sting Jericho.
We never got that in WCW, did we?
No, nope.
I mean, I know that he's not really happy in WWE. Could we see Seth Rollins versus Sting?
No, absolutely not.
The person in the first place.
Number 3, put the two British women in the main event, Saraya and Jamie Hayter.
Oh, fuck no.
Number 2, Punk versus Omega.
Yeah, definitely.
And number 1, this is ridiculous, which means as soon as I say it, it's gonna happen probably. Goldberg.
Yeah. Does it make sense for Goldberg to trust a company that he's never worked for? It's more like, the devil you know, rather than that type of situation.
Let's not forget how many times they've redone the most infamous spot of his career.
The Bret Hart kick?
Yep. The spear into the plate, and wasn't it You know, that's how jumbled this all has me. Was it a kick between Goldberg and Brett, or was it a spear?
No, it was the kick to the head.
Well, they've done that too. But the spear into the bulletproof vest.
Well, okay, so let's instead of saying this one singular thing will draw this amount of money, what about all of those things on the same card? You have Punk and Omega on top because obviously that's going to draw the most money and the most attraction, and you're going to actually get people to actually fly
But
to the UK to see that match.
but then if it goes anywhere other than the main event, there's a problem because you're not putting your primary title in the main event of your first big stadium show. Your first big international stadium show.
And yeah, but then you would have to put the belt on Omega or Punk, and I don't think anybody wants that at this point.
I mean, I hate to say this, but Punk having it makes a little more sense storyline-wise than Omega.
I wouldn't put another title on CM Punk for a very long time, and even after that time expired, I'd still be very cautious about it. MJF versus if the card is MJF versus Wardlow, good match, not gonna draw as that much. CM Punk versus Omega, that's definitely the marquee. Soraya versus Hayter. A decent amount of people would probably come out just for that match, I would say. Not a lot, but
I would I would even say this shouldn't have been All In. This should have been Forbidden Door.
Oh, and then you could have an Okada versus Omega type match.
Yes.
I don't know. It does really depend if and we'll talk about this a little later. It really depends on whether they'll get 20 or 40,000 people, just depending on if they get CM Punk. And that's really the main factor in all of this.
One site has come up with a full card that could sell out.
Well, I mean, we did that for Forbidden Door last year, and literally none of the predicted matches that were on that ever came to fruition.
Well, let me read these.
Sure.
MJF Adam Cole for the world title.
Yeah.
FTR Young Bucks for the tag titles.
Of course.
Women's Championship Unification match. Jade Cargill, Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Trios Championship. House of Black, Blackpool Combat Club. Or House of Blackpool Combat Club. Omega Punk, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker.
Ooh.
Retirement match, Chris Jericho, Sting. Oh my God. This won't happen. Edge and Christian against the Hard Boys in a TLC match.
Get the fuck out.
Goldberg Wardlow.
Okay.
Hook Samoa Joe. Oh wait, oh no, it gets worse. And finally, rounding it out, a match we never knew we wanted. Satnam Singh versus Paul White.
Oh God.
Vince McKee, don't quit your day job. In fact, if you get any job, don't quit it.
Yes. Well, let's just leave that there for a minute. This week on Dynamite, Jeff Hardy returned to make the save for his brother Matt Hardy and Private Party. I want to be excited, but I've been excited for Jeff Hardy coming back for a second chance and him just squandering it. I feel like we've been down this road like 5 times in the last 2 years.
And he's now quite a bit slower than he ever was. And I mean, but I mean, it's like the same thing with like the Young Bucks. I mean, you have the middle-aged Bucks versus the Hardy men.
I mean, I think Matt Hardy said it the best before they even went into that match at Double or Nothing. Matt Hardy said, we're old, we know it, but we'll still kick your ass. But, I'm paraphrasing here, but, it's not even for that. I'm happy to see Jeff, but I don't want to see Jeff Hardy if he's going to actively hurt himself. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, we also, I mean, when we saw him before his return, he wasn't looking great.
He wasn't.
And I mean, they said, oh, he looks quite in shape, but does he?
I mean, on Dynamite, he looked significantly better than what he did in that picture that I think you're referencing to. I'll say this, he looks better than Keith Lee.
Oh God. I mean, yeah, they were giving out free oxygen tanks on Dynamite last week.
I've never legitimately thought I would see somebody like die in the ring on live TV until I've been seeing Keith Lee matches.
I'm about to say, how many Rey Mysterio matches have you been watching?
Only the one at Mania. I don't believe they televised the match. Well, he murdered a motherfucker.
I mean, oh, that reminds me. I gotta put out some tweet regarding Dominic and Paraguayo. I'm such a bitch. Yeah, and what is with this sudden alliance between Keith Lee and the man in WWE wanting to be his butler?
Yeah, that's right. Oh God, what was his? Budge. Yeah. Kid Lee and Budge. Bearcat and Budge.
Yeah.
Because there can only be one Cole, and that's Michael fucking Cole.
Yeah, and surprisingly, that's his legal middle name.
Budge?
No, fucking. I mean, it seems like, you know, it's like the wrestling world is saying, oh no, we don't want any of your psychotropic mushrooms. They would interfere with our acid trip. Because, yeah, AEW is going in a really weird direction.
You can say that again.
I mean, it's nice. It's a bit refreshing, but you also have to wonder, are calling the MJF, Darby, Sammy, and was it Orange Cassidy is the fourth pillar?
No, it's MJF, Darby, Jungle Boy, and Guevara.
Jungle Boy. That's it. See, that's how much I could remember. And I was a huge Jungle Boy advocate.
I mean, I couldn't remember Jungle Boy, and he was sitting right next to me.
But it's like, okay, you're putting MJF into a program with wrestlers that are his size? That MJF actually looks like he could beat?
That he actually has beaten.
Yeah.
In the last, 3 years?
It's. I mean, is it the right time to reward them for that? Especially when you definitely know you're not taking the title off Max yet.
So this is how I kind of look at it. They don't got no fucking stars. I mean, Adam Cole is on, he's still on the road to recovery. And he needs to be tested before he can prove that he's championship material at this point. Keith Lee looks like he's on his deathbed. I can make the argument, like, you could put Swerve Strickland in the main event of any world championship and he'll look like he'll belong. And I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger on that guy. Chris Jericho just went insane. Omega may be just too hard or just doesn't want the title at this point. So you need to make stars. It seems like Darby is in that position.
Yes.
And Wardlow, possibly. And it's a good way to get to a Darby MJF singles match without beating Darby and putting some shine on Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara that you could say, well, if they challenge again, I'll believe that they could actually win. So, I do like that they're going with the Four Pillars gimmick, because when are they going to ever have this opportunity to do this in the future?
Which means they're going to fuck it up tremendously, because I guarantee that somewhere in the back of his mind, Tony Khan is thinking about, all right, how could we do a dusty finish on top of a dusty finish? And we're gonna get the first ever quadruple pin.
Oh God. could make the argument Darby does the coffin splash is pinning Sammy Guevara. MJF breaks up the pin, throws Darby out, and then pins Guevara. But like you said, don't find a way to fucking up.
This is how it. Darby and MJF both get what the hell is that submission hold of Darby's?
The Last Supper?
Yes, the Last Supper. And MJF's the Salt of the Earth. I mean, yeah, Darby has Sammy, MJF has Jungle Boy. Yeah, they're both looking at each other. They each got their submissions locked in. Simultaneous tap out. And I mean, if they do it, non-elimination style, that's probably a good. But I think that's probably the best way without Darby flat out losing.
Well, I mean, that's the best. The best way is to have him at the mountain peak and MJF kicking him off, but not actually eating a pin or a submission. But I mean, which would make sense for then him going into another match against MJF in a singles match. But I mean, could you really do Darby MJF after that if he eats the pin? I mean, it's not going to hurt Darby to eat the pin, but it would make a lot of sense in the long run if you're going to do a singles match. Well, let's get into, I think everybody's talking about this. CM Punk is going to make a return imminently. Whether that's for AEW, I believe it's for AEW, is to be seen. I think it's a good thing that he's coming back. For the company, at least, because people are going to be talking about it. What are your thoughts on it?
I got fooled once before. I'm not putting my faith in CM Punk ever again. The best thing for AEW to do would be not to hire Punk. I mean, it's not a matter of giving people second chances, third chances, fourth chances. They do plenty of that already. But at some point, if stuff like this keeps happening and Tony just lets him back, Tony becomes the pushover of the wrestling world. Which, let's face it, he's quite up there already.
I mean, yeah, he is. I think it's a matter of business at this point. Punk draws money, so you put Punk on your shows. I think it's just a matter of giving him his space when he's, not in a great mood. And CM Punk is notoriously not always in a great mood. So it's kind of like put like a caged tiger, so to speak. Let the people see him, and when it's time to close up shop, leave him be.
Would AEW have the balls to do Punk Cabana?
I don't think Cabana has the bank account.
No. His mom does.
And is that because she uses...
She's a strictly Cash App, not a Venmo.
I believe we're
Yeah.
still in touch with sponsor us.
I gotta be sure. I do my taxes for free. Because I'm poor.
Or you just don't do your taxes.
Oh no, I do my taxes. I want my free $67 refund.
Well, good for you. Alright, but, I mean, obviously, Colt Cabana and CM Punk's not gonna do business. At this point, I think the only thing that does business at this point is Punk versus Omega. And I think CM Punk and Kenny Omega could coexist to get that down. Because at the end of the day, Kenny Omega wasn't the bad guy in the scenario.
No,
He
he was not.
Be peacekeeper. I mean, depending on who you ask, it could be Matt or Matt Jackson is what the issues lies. And I mean, you could have a 6-man tag and not have them interact.
I mean, you could do Brandon Cutler versus Punk's dog. Puppy on a pole match.
My money's on the dog. Unless Psycho Mike trains Brian Cutler.
I mean, could Kenny pull out a 5-star match with an invisible CM Punk?
Oh God. Oh well, there's your fucking match. The video.
We didn't say he was invincible. We said he was invisible.
Well, I mean, it's still to be seen.
Well, if he's invisible, no.
I mean, if we're doing invisible matches, then just have throw in fucking John Cena. Something we may or may not see depending on if they're liars. FTR said that they've signed a 4-year contract with AEW, and when they're done with that contract, they are retiring. I don't know really how to feel about that. I mean, I love FTR, I love their matches. I think this might be a bluff, but then again, it's pro wrestling, anything can happen.
I mean, I always thought that Wilder was primed for a singles career when FTR was done. Wheeler, Wilder, whatever. Cash, Wheeler, Yuta.
Wilder.
But, with the way Dax, got over with Fight Like an 8-year-old girl, I mean, I could see Dax moving into singles in territory. I mean, okay, FTR says they're retiring, but are they? Retiring has so many different definitions these days. Are they retiring from tag team matches? Are they retiring just from AEW? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Are they retiring FTR and then return as the Revival.
Are they looking to take up a new gimmick as a demolition cosplay team?
Hmm. Will they join Invisible CM Punk? Or
One
will they
Nation,
try the same
Invisible.
exact part as Colt Cabana's mom?
Marsha.
Slamovich. Alright, unless you have anything else to say about that?
No, I do want to offer congrats to Carl Anderson, who knocked up his wife again for the 4th time. Way to go, man.
You mean his hot Asian wife?
Yes, one of his hot Asian wives.
Well, I was gonna say this for a little later, but I think it's a great segue. Is there too many fucking Bullet Clubs? Right now, we got the original Bullet Club in New Japan, which is led by David Finley. We got the Bullet Club, the Rogue General Squadron, which is led by Bad Luck Fale in, I believe, Australia, New Zealand. We got Bullet Club Gold in AEW. Whatever the fuck they're doing in Impact. And then the club with AJ Styles and Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows in WWE. Has this become NWA convoluted, Scooter?
NWA convoluted or NWO convoluted?
NWO. My bad.
I mean, yeah. Which one has 90 calories and no sugar?
I believe that's platinum, but we haven't got that yet.
I mean,
we'll be getting Bullet Club with special dark chocolate and strawberry soon as well.
or maybe cold brew Bullet Club.
That sounds like something.
Oh, Bullet Club Nitro.
Bullet Club Park.
I mean, does anybody have any idea how a trademark works?
I mean, New Japan has the trademark, and it just seems. So I'm assuming they're getting money every time somebody uses it that isn't from from New Japan.
Well, brought to you by Carl's Jr. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. Because they pay me every time I do. It's a great way to make money. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
But now, a quick word from. Really, this TurboTax.
Carl Tax. TurboTax Jr. Carl's Jr. Fuck you. I'm eating.
I didn't even know you had Carl's Jr. in New York.
We don't. It's from the 2006 movie Idiocracy. The Mike Judge film.
So,
where everybody is stupid and Luke Wilson is the smartest man on earth.
And isn't Maya Rudolph like a prostitute?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she gets out on a work release whoring license.
Oh, I can't believe we both saw that movie. Okay, King and Queen of the Ring is now Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. Is this because there's already kings in Saudi Arabia and they don't respect women enough to be queens in Saudi Arabia, or
Considering that they've done they did the previous finals in 2020.
true? But I mean, it wasn't named king of the ring.
I mean, come on, you had both finals.
True.
I mean, yeah, I will say that. Oh boy, all right, King of the Ring sounds like an event. King and Queen of the Ring doesn't sound like an event. I mean, if they did, a weekend.
Like do one night King of the Ring, second night Queen of the Ring.
Yeah, I mean, and a night of all women's wrestling in Saudi Arabia.
That'll put asses in seats. Especially if
Say,
is in attendance.
sales of Kleenex and Vaseline will go way up
Ooh.
in Saudi Arabia.
Sponsored by TurboTax.
But not like out of all the names they have, Night of Champions. I mean,
why not just do Crown Jewel again?
Because they are doing Crown Jewel already at the end of the year.
Oh, so they have to have at least one named pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, yay, Arabian Night of Champions. 1001 Arabian Night of Champions.
It's probably going to be not every title's going to be put on the line, especially considering the tag team champion is Sami Zayn, and he's notorious for not showing up for those.
Oh fuck. That makes me think that they wanted Sammy to win. The King of the Ring. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, but yeah. calling the event King and Queen of the Ring, it doesn't sound like a premium live event title.
I mean, like Battle for the Throne sounds more kingly and queenly than that. But then again, CCW wants that.
But then again, also the night, the night is it? Because the following Sunday, NXT is doing Battleground.
Isn't that the same night as Double S or Dusty as well?
No, Battleground and Night of Champions is in the same weekend. There are things about the WWE doing 3 PLEs in May.
I mean, technically 2.
No, Battleground's in a separate place.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Technically 2, because would you really put NXT up there?
Yes, if it's in a different arena, yes.
But if you do
and you've got Backlash on May 6th.
Yeah.
So it's 3. But as soon as NXT went back to other arenas, yeah, they're slowly but surely getting back up there. On to PLE status. And that just reminded me of something. And we didn't talk about this. So shortly after Stand and Deliver, apparently, Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed, a.k.a. The former Grizzled Young Veterans, went and asked for their release. I don't know how many of you watched NXT this past week, but the release was not given, as they were front and center with the rest of the schism.
Clean your shorts.
So it's that's a bit interesting that.
I don't watch NXT. Are they like in a rivalry right now?
Well, I mean,
or do you like they have to finish? Like, okay, I'll sign an extension and finish this out, and then I'll leave.
Oh, no, they're not. They're not the end of their contracts.
Right.
Yeah.
Could they say, could Shawn Michaels be like, finish this out and then we'll give you your release?
Shawn wouldn't have anything to do with it. I mean, it wouldn't. There would be no conditions. If the WWE would likely just give them the flat out release if they thought, they weren't performing up to snuff. But I mean, as far as I've seen, they are. I mean, they are. I hate to say this, but they're better as the Schism than they ever were as the Grizzled Young Veterans. By who would have thought that by shaving you'd get a personality? Which is why I never shave. God, the fact that you bring up lottery, the draft has an official date, 2 weeks. It will start on SmackDown and continue with its second night on the following Raw. 2 weeks from last night, the 30th, which means it will finish up before Backlash.
Pretty on par with how they used to do the draft. Because you get drafted, you finish up whatever you're doing at Backlash, and then you go to whatever show you're going to the following week.
2 weeks from yesterday, the rematch between Sammy and KO gets the Usos for the tag titles is set.
For Backlash or?
No, SmackDown.
SmackDown, okay.
The Backlash main event is going to be Brock and Cody.
So no Roman.
Nope. But the reason for this storyline, Brock not being happy with where his match was in the main event, or on the WrestleMania card, I mean, what did Paul Heyman say at WrestleMania 35? He's either fighting last or he's fighting first.
And he was forced.
I think it's gonna be more of Brock's pissed Cody didn't win, because then Brock can challenge for the title again.
Right.
Which would make more sense than the shit we've seen. But other than that,
let's face it, this is only a side quest for Cody until we get to SummerSlam or WrestleMania next year.
Yeah. But also, it probably, or I mean, it was good while it lasted, but we're probably going to see the typical post WrestleMania releases. Because the WWE is also on a hiring freeze.
So if you're not hiring anybody, you have to fire people too?
It's about this happened when they did the draft the last time.
Right.
And then, suddenly, Tony Storm got drafted and then was on SmackDown 1 week, then got released.
Well, I mean, she didn't get released. She asked for her release. That's a different thing.
I mean, only fans wanted to see her succeed.
And oh boy, are they. I mean, I can make the argument that there are some people in WWE that are definitely not doing what they could be doing.
There are people that the WWE has WWE hired, and they're not doing anything yet. Eric Young.
Did they hire Eric Young?
Yep.
That's right, because they murdered him on Impact.
And they haven't had anything for him.
That's really a shame, honestly.
Nope, no sanity this time.
I mean, another person that not really fired, but we might not be seeing anymore is Drew McIntyre, because he's still not under contract with WWE as of this recording. It would be a really big loss if they lost Drew McIntyre, no?
It would, especially now. But it wouldn't, I mean, given all the success Drew has had now, I mean, it wouldn't be bad for Drew. And I don't know if Drew could feel like the same level of success anywhere else. I mean, he could be damn sure his Impact success pales in comparison to his WWE success.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the only place he could, I mean, he would be great in New Japan. He would do great things there. AEW, I could make the argument he could be great there as well if they actually gave him the opportunity. But AEW. So honestly, it's kind of pick your poison at this point for him. He could really do anything he wants. I think
somebody call Tyson Fury and ask him where Drew is.
I think it's just a matter. I think what he really got hurt was when Roman won both titles, and there was really nothing for him to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just kind of thrown into the mid card because there is no main event.
Yeah.
Canceled. Do you honestly, does it really matter who gets drafted where?
No.
Yeah, I agree with that. Does it matter who gets fired if that's where we're heading?
Um. Also, if Drew, by the way, if Drew is leaving, his contract is up at the end of the year. So, again, if anything happens, it's a release, not failure to re-sign. And again, no, it doesn't matter anymore because the WWE does not value its titles as two separate brands anymore. I mean, maybe if the friggin' champion was, wasn't defending it as if it were a UFC title, once every 2 months.
If that.
I want to establish a new rule. The days of your reign are only extended if you actually defend your title. So every time you defend, you get 1 day added to your reign.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Bruno Sammartino would have only had 10 days as champion?
No, Bruno was wrestling. Bruno was wrestling 2-3 times a week. Bruno's the definition of a fighting champion.
Really, you only did once a month.
No, Bruno, the man from Pittsburgh, a fighting champion.
Speaking of fighting champions, SANADA won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Sakura Genesis against Kazuchika Okada.
I can't believe a car won a title.
Yeah. And
and I drive a Sonata, so hey, all right. I'm driving around in the IWGP champion.
Congratulations.
It's a stick shift.
And yeah, it's really odd because he broke away from LIJ to join just 4 guys to form just 5 guys. And it wasn't exactly, evil leaving and making a big whoop-de-doo about it. It was probably the most polite breakup in all of pro wrestling history. Because he didn't, and Sonata didn't lose any fans going into the match with Okada. It was okay. He's not LIJ anymore, but he's still Sonata. You kind of understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And he beat Okada finally out of Okada was 8-1 against Sonata, so now he's 8-2. So there's that. And I think this is a really great thing that they're doing because New Japan desperately needs new stars and guys that could hang as champion because I think Osprey kind of proved that he's not trustworthy just for the fact that he keeps getting injured. Jay White left. Kota Ibushi is a whole other story entirely. They're trying to make something out of David Finlay. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere.
Wait, are you saying David Finlay won't fit?
Maybe, yeah. I feel like they're trying to push him on us in New Japan at this point.
I mean, it's either push him there or push him on Impact.
Well, he did good in the Cap division in Impact. But, yeah. So honestly, you had Okada and literally everybody else because there's really nobody to challenge him. So it's honestly, I'm interested to see what he does with the title, but it's honestly what happens to him after he loses the title. Do they still hold him in that regard? Do they still give him these big matches? Or is he just going to be challenging for the Neville Championship after this?
Yeah. The question is, does it become, and I hate to do this, does it become an Eddie Guerrero style of title reign? Where he wins it at the big one, but his first big feud, he loses it.
I mean, it doesn't really. I won't say that it really matters when he loses it. It's just with how they respond to him losing it. New Japan, that is. Because if they just throw him back into like Neville openweight contention, then I mean it meant that title run meant nothing. I mean, look at Evil. He was unified IWGP champion in the summer of 2020, and now he's lower mid-card. And no signs of doing anything significant in his life ever again. So we shall see. I'm also excited to see if they bring new people into just Five Guys, like Ford and Mazda and Suzuki. MVP.
Former New Japan perennial opener Carl Fredericks is enjoying a bit of success at NXT.
Really?
Yep, as Eddie Thorpe. He's hasn't lost yet.
Good for him. Right, and the last bit of news before we get out of here. Vince McMahon's new contract contains a code of conduct and a non-harassment policy.
Does that apply to his mustache?
I mean, does it need to be said? Obviously, yes.
I mean, until I'm proven otherwise, I'm always gonna think that Vince has been replaced by his evil twin. I mean, because one, there's no way a natural mustache grows that thin, at least on a man. And there's also no way on a man that old that it grows in that dark.
Oh, he's definitely using Just for Men.
Oh, you know, I'm trying to think of some bigger play on Just for Men, but there isn't.
I kind of feel like if it rains on him, he's just going to melt.
He's just going to be like one dripping ink puddle.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't go and get a really terrible tan.
I mean,
And
he might have. We just haven't noticed.
and he's not, and he's called himself. Oh God. Oh shit. Backlash is in Puerto Rico. Fuck. If he starts calling himself Vicente or Vicente McMahon, and he's going to be a part of the LWO. What's up, my Boricua?
And that will conclude this episode. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and KO Coffee, our actual sponsors that you should support.
Well, it happened once.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it's a shame because AEW has been coming through with some really quality pay-per-view main events.
I would disagree with that. Actually, I completely disagree with that. We had MJF versus Jon Moxley, which was an okay match. We had CM Punk versus Jon Moxley, which was an okay match.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.